The promise of the unknown. For centuries, exploration has carried a dangerous seduction. The belief that beyond the last marked coordinate lies discovery, glory, immortality. Explorers have always known the risks. Hostile environments, isolation, failure. But history shows something more unsettling. Some expeditions didn't simply fail. They dissolved. Ships returned without crews. Camps stood abandoned mid-task. Journals stopped mid-sentence. As if the explorers didn't retreat. As if they were interrupted. 2. The expedition that never came back. In the early 20th century, a small team of seasoned explorers set out toward a region few outsiders had entered. Dense wilderness, inconsistent magnetic readings, a terrain known only through fragmented indigenous warnings. They were experienced, well-funded, meticulously prepared. Their final transmission was brief. Progress steady, morale high, coordinates logged. Then nothing. Search parties followed months later. What they found made no sense. Supplies untouched, tents still standing, personal items neatly arranged. No evidence of attack, no signs of evacuation. The explorers had vanished as if the land itself had erased them. 3. Clues that refused to align. Investigators documented everything. Footprints that stopped abruptly. Campfires cold but orderly. Equipment laid out, not abandoned in panic. No drag marks. No blood. No signs of struggle. Nature usually leaves signatures. Storms scatter gear, predators leave chaos, human conflict leaves traces. Here there was restraint, precision, silence. Some searchers described an overwhelming stillness in the area. A quiet so dense it felt artificial. Others reported navigational instruments failing. Timepieces drifting out of sync. Small anomalies. Easy to dismiss individually. Impossible to ignore collectively. 4. The pattern of vanishing. This was not an isolated case. Across continents and decades, similar stories emerge. Arctic expeditions that disappeared between supply drops. Desert crossings where caravans were never found. Ocean voyages where ships drifted empty, sails intact. In many cases, final logs reveal unease. Strange lights on the horizon. Unexplained sounds at night. Landmarks that seem to shift. And always the same ending. A clean break. As if the expedition crossed an invisible threshold. V. Theories at the edge of credibility. Official explanations tend to favor the practical. Environmental collapse. Human error. Undocumented conflicts. But these explanations strain under scrutiny. Why leave supplies behind? Why no emergency signals? Why do multiple accounts describe similar sensory distortions? Some researchers propose psychological explanations. Extreme isolation altering perception. Others point to natural phenomena. Electromagnetic interference. Geological anomalies. And then there are theories rarely spoken aloud. That some places resist intrusion. That not all territory is passive. That exploration does not always mean permission. 6. The last journal entry. One recovered notebook, found miles from its expedition's last known camp, contains a final entry that still unsettles investigators. The handwriting is steady. No panic. Just observation. The land feels aware. Not hostile. Not welcoming. Watching. We move forward tomorrow. There is no reason not to. There was no tomorrow. The writer was never found. 7. Why we keep going back. Despite the disappearances, humanity continues to push outward. Into jungles. Into oceans. Into ice and desert and space. Because the unknown promises meaning. But these vanished voyagers remind us of something darker. That the world still contains places where certainty dissolves. Where technology falters. Where human presence leaves no mark. Places that do not give answers, only absence. 8. The unfinished map. Today, satellites scan every corner of the globe. GPS narrows margins of error to inches. And yet, people still vanish in exploration zones. Hikers disappear along marked trails. Researchers lose contact in supposedly surveyed regions. Vessels drop off tracking systems without explanation. The map grows more detailed. The mysteries remain. Because not all boundaries are physical. Some are perceptual. Some are psychological. Some are, perhaps, intentional. 9. The legacy of the vanished. The explorers who disappeared are often remembered as cautionary tales. But that framing misses the truth. They were witnesses. To environments we barely understand. To conditions we still cannot replicate. To thresholds we continue to cross without knowing the cost. Their absence is not failure. It is data. Incomplete. Unsettling. Unresolved. X. The silence that waits. Somewhere, beyond marked trails and shipping lanes, the land remains unchanged. Indifferent. Watching new explorers arrive with better tools, stronger confidence, tighter timelines. And perhaps waiting. Because history suggests this. Not every journey ends with a return. Not every mystery wants to be solved. And not every vanished voyager was meant to be found. Sometimes the most unsettling discovery is realizing the world still has places where people go and simply stop existing.